Imagine being shackled to a system you never chose, surrendering the fruits of your hard work and ambition under the guise of public service. The great tax trap operates like a sophisticated machine, meticulously designed to extract your resources, hidden beneath the veneer of civic responsibility. Its true purpose is not to enhance your prosperity, but to strengthen the grip of centralized power and wealth accumulation. In this chapter, we will deconstruct this illusion, peeling back the layers of taxation and regulation to uncover the fundamental truths beneath the surface. By understanding the deliberate design behind these financial mechanisms, you will gain the insights required to regain control over your money, your decisions, and ultimately your life. It's time to move beyond mere compliance and uncover strategies that empower you to thrive in a world that wants to restrict your potential. The facade of service. Governments often sell taxation as a collective investment, a way for every citizen to contribute toward building infrastructure like roads, schools, hospitals, and other public services. The narrative promises smooth highways for travel, well-funded educational institutions for future generations, and cutting-edge medical facilities for health and wellness. We are led to believe that each dollar taken from us is used in a noble cause that serves the greater good. However, this comforting image is nothing more than a well-crafted facade designed to justify a far more self-serving agenda. The time, energy, and resources you pour into deciphering and fulfilling the complex tax codes, regulations, and reporting requirements do not end up improving the community or enhancing your own well-being. Instead, they perpetuate a bureaucratic infrastructure that serves the interests of the state and the elites who benefit from its operations, rather than the citizens it claims to serve. Each time you struggle through mountains of paperwork, navigate convoluted laws, or endure unpredictable audits, you are essentially maintaining an administrative behemoth, an apparatus that drains time and resources without advancing the public good. Your contributions are funneled through a labyrinth of processes where the true beneficiaries are rarely the ones you imagine. The myth of consent. Taxation is often cloaked in the rhetoric of the social contract, an unspoken voluntary agreement between individuals and the state, suggesting that taxes are a form of collective duty willingly agreed upon for the betterment of society. Yet, when we take a closer look, no such formal contract exists. From the moment you are born, you are assigned an identification number, and from then on, you are conditioned to comply with the tax system, whether you choose to or not. Each paycheck, every purchase you make, and every financial transaction you engage in is subject to tax. Not because you've actively agreed to this, but because the system dictates it. The so-called social contract is merely a cleverly crafted illusion, one that assumes your consent without ever asking for it. You are an entry in a digital ledger, your financial activities automatically recorded, taxed, and redistributed. True autonomy comes when you recognize that the system you're living under was designed, not freely chosen, and that this design serves interests far removed from your own. Once you see the illusion for what it is, you are empowered to challenge its legitimacy and fight for real reform. The triple bind of taxation. Taxation comes at you from multiple angles, each one tightening the noose around your financial freedom. The system works through three primary mechanisms, each of which imposes its own form of penalty, extracting value from your life in different ways. Income tax. The most direct form of taxation, income tax penalizes your success by imposing progressively higher rates as your earnings increase. The more you work, the more you are taxed. As soon as your income exceeds a certain threshold, the state increases its take, turning your personal success into a financial liability. Promotions, bonuses, and pay raises that should be celebrated are instead punished by an ever-increasing tax rate. The more you earn, the more the government takes, The illusion of upward mobility becomes an illusion of diminishing returns, where your pursuit of prosperity is simultaneously undermined by the very system that claims to support it. As your salary increases, your net rewards shrink, and the disincentive to strive for higher earnings becomes apparent. Sales tax and value-added tax, VAT. These taxes function as silent levies on every purchase you make, whether it's a small everyday purchase like a cup of coffee or larger expenditures for essential goods. Every time you hand over money, a portion of it is quietly siphoned off by the state. Sales taxes are often invisible in the moment, an extra percentage added to the final price of a product. But over time, they accumulate, eroding your purchasing power and subtly reducing your ability to save, invest, and meet your personal financial goals. The compound effect of these small deductions is significant over time, as the tax burden builds and reduces the effectiveness of your spending. Payroll tax. This tax raises the cost of employment for businesses, making it more expensive to hire and retain workers. Employers are forced to pay additional taxes for each employee, often resulting in reduced benefits, limited wage growth, or even restricted hours. In some cases, businesses are driven to seek alternative solutions, such as automation or outsourcing, to mitigate the rising costs. This, in turn, stifles job creation, hampers wage growth, and limits the overall economic mobility of individuals. The payroll tax is one of the key factors in the stagnation of wages and the slow growth of employment, creating a systemic barrier to upward mobility for workers. Together, these three forms of taxation create a multi-layered system of extraction, each one reinforcing the others and escalating as your economic activity increases. Understanding how these mechanisms work in concert is the first step in devising strategies to mitigate their impact and gain back some control over your financial life. The bureaucratic maze. Breaking free from the web of taxation is not a simple matter. It requires navigating a constantly shifting labyrinth of compliance requirements. Each fiscal quarter brings new forms, updated regulations, and software updates to accommodate the latest changes in the law. Every time you make an error, be it an incorrect figure, a missed deadline, or a misunderstood rule, you face the risk of audits, penalties, and interest charges that accumulate rapidly. These mistakes not only cost money, but also consume valuable time that could be better spent on entrepreneurial ventures or personal pursuits. In an attempt to escape the maze, many individuals and businesses invest in expensive compliance software or hire professional advisors, often at great cost. Ironically, by doing so, they end up reinforcing the very system they are trying to evade, dedicating precious time and resources to an endless cycle of bureaucracy. The system is designed to trap you in an administrative role, diverting your focus from your true objectives and relegating you to an unpaid servant of the state. The theft of time. Time is an asset that, once lost, can never be regained. Unlike money, which can be earned back, every hour spent on navigating the complexities of tax bureaucracy is an hour lost forever. The bureaucratic apparatus systematically steals your present moment, diverting you from creative, productive, and fulfilling activities. The ancient philosopher Seneca warned us about the fleeting nature of time, urging us to avoid procrastination and to live fully in the moment. Yet, the tax system does the opposite. It keeps you in a perpetual state of delay, forcing you to spend hours and even days attending to administrative tasks that add no value to your personal growth or happiness. Ventures left unlaunched, dreams left unrealized, and businesses left undeveloped are all the silent costs of this stolen time. Reclaiming your time is not just an act of financial freedom. It is an essential part of restoring balance to your life and regaining control over your destiny. The weapon of complexity. Complexity is one of the most effective tools in the hands of those who design the tax system. By constructing an environment filled with dense legal language, ever-evolving statutes, and overlapping regulations, The architects of taxation ensure that the majority of individuals and businesses cannot fully grasp the intricacies of the system. This complexity acts as a barrier to entry, forcing most people to rely on expensive experts to navigate the maze. If the rules were simpler, if the tax code were more transparent and understandable, individuals and businesses would be empowered to question, resist, and even challenge the system. Instead, the system is designed to keep you in the dark, rendering you dependent on costly professionals and trapping you in a cycle of compliance. The fortress of complexity only stands as long as no one dares to challenge its structure. The lie of duty. Taxation is often presented as a patriotic duty, a moral obligation that every citizen should willingly embrace. We are told that our taxes support education, defense, public welfare, and other noble causes. These ideas are not inherently flawed. Education and defense are indeed valuable societal contributions. However, the way taxes are used in practice is far removed from the idealized vision presented to the public. The tax system is used as a tool of control, shaping behavior, suppressing dissent, and enforcing conformity. Taxes on certain commodities are used to influence consumer choices, while audits and investigations are wielded as instruments to silence critics. The supposed duty to contribute is, in reality, a mechanism of obedience used to maintain a system that serves the interests of the state and the powerful few, rather than the well-being of the many. From compliance to liberation, most people view taxes and credit as separate entities, taxes representing capital that is frozen by the state, and credit representing potential wealth that has yet to be realized. However, true financial mastery recognizes that money exists not just as cash, but also through these more invisible forms, tax planning and credit. Taxes can be managed and optimized to unlock frozen capital, while strategic borrowing can be used to leverage potential wealth and accelerate wealth creation. Understanding the full spectrum of financial currency, including tax strategy and credit leverage, gives you the power to control your financial destiny. By learning to navigate and master both, you transcend the passive compliance that defines most people's relationship with money, moving toward financial sovereignty. While the systems of taxation and bureaucracy may seem overwhelming and insurmountable, they are human creations, and therefore subject to scrutiny, critique, and transformation. With the knowledge of their underlying structure, you are in a position to challenge their assumptions, optimize your interactions with the system, and ultimately regain both your resources and your time. In the next chapter, we will explore practical strategies for thawing frozen capital, turning it into liquid assets, and leveraging credit to accelerate wealth creation. This journey represents the evolution of your financial identity, from a passive participant in a flawed system to an empowered individual with full control over your financial future.